Broadcasting live from inside Ben's power band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. Welcome to the podcast, folks. I'm your host, Kevin, along with my super awesome friends, Ben.
Hey.
And Chad.
Yo.
Folks, I'm sitting on Jarhigo's lap as I'm on location with him, so this is a very special podcast episode, and we'll be talking about Season 3 and Season 4 of the hit show The Expanse.
And I'll be the third wheel.
And that too. So.
Everything's okay. Everything's okay.
We're not going to be able to do any of that. All right. Now, the other thing, too, Chad, I did not have time to get through 8, 9, and 10 on Season 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just been too much going on. That would have happened Friday night or yesterday, but just didn't happen.
Okay. Trying to think of what the end of 8, 9, and 10 were. It's kind of the climax.
Wow. There's a lot there, man. Fuck.
In 3 episodes? Hell yeah.
Probably want to see it, you know?
Well, I know. That's the thing. So, Chad, I was just saying to Ben before we got this mess up and running, was that they found the slugs. Like, the tidal wave came, they found the slugs, and, like, those 2 guys died. They're dealing with the green spots. They're making the tether gantry thing for the Pickle Barba thing. Ship.
Pickle Rick.
They're
trying to keep Pickle Rick in orbit.
The Pickle Rick.
The Barba Pickle Rick.
The Barba Pickle Rick. And then, that's all I got. So I don't know what happens after that. There's 2.5 episodes left.
Yeah, that's...
And Avasarala is basically, like, doing all this stuff, and everybody's like, you're making it all about you.
Yeah, political bullshit.
Why are you making it about you?
I'm so fucking feeling you on the stupid political bullshit, Benny.
Yeah.
Now it feels stupid.
Oh, it's completely fucking made up. That's what's stupid about it.
Uh-oh. Chad's pissed as hell, dude. I love it.
No, I'm really not. Like, I kind of don't want to fucking have it be another But the Books episode at all. But
yes.
But the
page 72 of Cibola Bird. I pronounce it Cibola.
I was always in the voice space of like, but it's not the same as the books.
Yeah, fair enough.
Page 72, they clearly say.
Dude, it's plain as day, black and white.
She didn't grab the coffee with her left hand. It was her right.
I can't believe it. They don't even make lasagna. I love how Alex has like a fucking... what the hell was that old fucking catalog you used to be able to buy the really stupid shit out of? Fuck. My joke would have been twice as funny if I'd remembered it. You know the one where it's just like...
Yeah. Can you narrow it down to
I know. No. Like the one that every young...
Brookstone. Sharper Image.
Kind of like Brooks. Sharper Image. It was like he was in Sharper Image and he's like, it's a lasagna tray with all edges. It's from the future in fucking Mars. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Fucking all edge lasagna tray. Like, that's like the height of Martian technology.
And then he's using it in a later episode. So
yeah, exactly. It's like, give me a fucking
uses it
break.
all the time. What are you talking about?
There's no lasagna in the books. Thank you very much.
Yeah, not only that, you really should be saying this all in an Alex voice.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pull that off, man.
I got this great lasagna tray here. It's got all edges. The height of Martian technology. That's kind of how he sounds, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's exactly how he sounds.
Yeah. Oh, come on in here. And sometimes he's so kind of cowboy down home, you know? Like, oh, come on in here. I got some nice lasagna for you. Got this amazing pan. It's all edges. Height of Martian technology.
Hey, do you like lasagna edges? Oh, partner, I got this pan for you.
Hey, do you like... Exactly, dude.
Maybe it should be like we should definitely do like an Alex infomercial with him selling that pan on like Home Shopping Network, Martian Shopping Network. You ever strapped down in your jail chair, 9 G's? You just wish you could eat some lasagna edges.
I know we're stuck in here with all this water and slugs, but does anybody want some lasagna?
That was dangerously close to a Bill Cosby pudding pop.
It was
a little bit, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe the show this week should just be 10 minutes of us saying that we didn't watch the end of the season.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, folks. I didn't watch it.
We're trying to provide high quality content for you, our listeners, but we couldn't be bothered.
Welcome to the show, folks. I just want to state up front that I didn't watch any of the content. Let's throw it over to algorithm.
So what'd you think, Kev?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, that lasagna was mighty nice.
Oh, man.
This lasagna.
Stop talking about your lasagna pan. Stop talking about your lasagna pan, Alex.
That's a pretty good Holden.
Dude, that sounds like Holden, man. That was nice, dude.
Thanks, man.
He's been working on that all week.
No, that was right off the top of the head, man.
If Mulvey gets here, I'm going to blow his doors off. That was a killer off the cuff, dude. Seriously.
Well, we could talk about season 3.
It'd be a shorty.
The other... We've already got like 2 solid impressions here, and I haven't even started in on Ashford yet.
Oh, Ashford.
Ashford.
He had a line in one of the ones I watched last night. I can't remember the line, but he's just. I mean, David Strathairn is like an amazing actor. Like he's like an icon. I mean, even if he's not an icon, he's an icon. I mean, he's been in so many amazing things, and he's really good in this. I just like making fun of the way he does Ashford as well.
Yeah.
So that's my disclaimer to David Strathairn. I'm like your biggest fan.
I turned around so hard on Ashford. He was like, I'm like, oh God, here we go. There's another fucking salty sea captain, half melted face type fucking peg leg character. And he turned out to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Salty. Half melted face sea captain. Aye, it's Captain Ahab.
Oh, dude, straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean 7, The Search for Johnny Depp's Soul.
Oh, so right. And his career, dude.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, he is just totally.
Yeah, let's give season 3 a spin then.
All right, let's try to make something out of this.
Lemonade out of lemons. So,
Yay.
Blurgan.
Kigurgan.
I have to figure out how to fucking separate these things out in my brain. Oh yeah, episode 3 is like Slow Zone, and
it's like it's a 2-parter, really.
What, 3 and 4?
Well, once the Venus thing happens, then it's like a few months later when the ring is formed, and yeah,
right.
They don't talk about it, but that's what essentially happens.
Well, it's one of Ben's favorite things. It's a time jump.
The time jump.
But the time jump is closer to a year and a half. Not that it's super relevant, but it's interesting.
There you go.
The time stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize that the time jump was that long.
Yeah, the time jump's quite long, and when you take into consideration an 18-month time jump, and imagine, the thing brewing on Venus for a year and a half, there'd be a hell of a lot of political bullshit going on. People freaking out and stuff. So,
yeah, was that in the book?
That was in the book.
Did they cover that missing section of time in the book?
No, it's like
they jumped in the book.
Holden's drinking a cup of coffee, and Alex is whipping up some za, and and it's like, oh yeah, it's a shame 18 months have gone by. Like just dropping it in passing in conversation.
The ship has the best coffee.
And then there's Ashford. What have we been doing for the last 18 months? We are belters. And we will be belters, and then we will be belters some more.
That's a pretty good Ashford, man.
It's okay.
Before we dig into this, I wanted to give a couple of quick shout-outs. Appropriately named Muad'Dib2288 on YouTube was commenting about the previous episode and mentioned a couple of inconsistencies where I was misremembering some stuff, and there was also some stuff that I was bitching about that was in the novellas that I hadn't read. So it was an interesting comment by him, and thanks for pointing it out. And
wait a minute, you were wrong about something?
Wait a minute.
Oh, dude, I'm wrong about most things. I just say it confidently.
Like your style.
I don't want to get into specifics because I feel like it'll spoil things. So it's not really super critical. But also Bill R on YouTube had a really insightful comment about Holden's arc, where he was just saying that he enjoyed Holden's arc, especially the point that you were talking about, Kev, not understanding why he was hesitant in being XO at the very, very beginning. And he was saying that he thought the whole point was that he had a journey to kind of earn the crew's respect, and it took several episodes before things kind of sorted out. So I kind of get what he was getting at there, and through that kind of lens, it makes a little bit more sense, even though it was a bit of a departure.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I just listened to that. I had just gotten to listening to that episode yesterday on my way up here to see Jarhigo. And I remember saying that specifically, that I thought that was weird. I felt like they did, too much time jumping there or whatever.
They did a thing in the X-Ray extras on season 4 where they were talking about, I think one of the showrunners was talking about how they chose to make it so that the gang was all kind of strangers. Oh no, you know what it was? It was a video on YouTube that Sky in Canada put together. And so it was like talking about how they chose to have the gang as all strangers so that the audience gets to know the gang while they get to know each other, just to kind of give the audience a bit of an in, as opposed to it being like people that had been together for years and were already a family. So based on that, it kind of makes a lot more sense. But
way more sense. I really like that, actually. Like, now that I'm sitting here thinking about that, that is actually a really good choice for, in terms of, setting up the arcs and the storytelling, because I mean, in a vacuum, that's a really great way to indoctrinate the audience. You know what I mean? They're getting to know the characters while they're getting to know each other. Like, that's actually really cool.
You kind of get on board, I guess.
Definitely. So now that makes me feel differently about it.
But I was just, thanks to Bill and Muad'Dib for chiming in.
Muad'Dib. Can we get a Captain Picard impression from Dune? Anybody?
Oh, what is he? Gurney Halleck?
Gurney Halleck.
Old Gurney.
Hold on, let me get my 9-string Baliset.
Perfect.
I'm going to play a little ditty for you.
I love it. Did you read any of the...
I'm trying to hold it back.
Let it go, man.
My 9-string Baliset. Nausicaa to my ready room.
Did you read any of the novellas, Benny, for The Expanse? Oh, you haven't read any of the books, so that's probably a definite no, huh?
You know what? I actually started reading the Churn.
Oh yeah,
which is the Amos's backstory.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought maybe a good place to jump in would be some of the novellas, being that I already, I'm familiar with the story. I feel like I can jump around a little bit and,
Yeah, I like it.
Get some backstory, get some little chunks of little nuggets, if you will, of information.
Meat chunks of info. My 9-string Baliset. What was freaking Leto's? The kid.
Paul
Atreides.
Paul, to my ready room.
I think it's interesting that, one of the listeners has a YouTube handle of Muad'Dib, because it kind of brings up the extra Dune novels and all of the, side material and stuff. And I remember you mentioning that you had read most, if not all, of that stuff, and you were kind of the opinion, Ben, that it was worth checking out, or refresh my memory. Is it stuff that you like?
Look, a lot of people hate on it, and it's not the same as the original stuff. But if you're interested in the lore and the story, and you want to know more about it, I think it's cool to read.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are some little changes, but also it's apparently supposed to be based on notes that Frank Herbert left. So
yeah,
I mean, is it as good as the original books? No, of course not. It's not Frank Herbert. But if you're like me and you want to be a completionist and you're interested in the story and you want to dive back and find out what was going on in the Butlerian Jihad, or you want to find out about what led what caused the feud between the Harkonnens and the Atreides, and I mean, it's not like it's completely.
It's very sketch-like in its presentation. Because I read as I know we talked about this before, but so when I started diving into the Dune books, I had bought the set, and then Higo had the prequel novels. So I actually read the whole thing chronologically. So I went prequel novels, started out with the Butlerian Jihad, all of the stuff Ben just mentioned, and then I went into Frank Herbert's Dune and went at it like that.
Yeah, right.
So I found the prequel ones to be sketch-like. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Not just kind of a lot of broad outlines, not a ton of detail about a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like oodles of lore there, oodles and noodles.
Oodles and noodles. I ask because I feel similarly about them as I do about the novellas, and maybe even about the show, where the Expanse, where because I'm a moody bitch, I tend to feel like extra bits of lore runs a serious risk of kind of like diluting or taking away from the core canon stuff. And so have you ever had that happen where, you'll be watching or reading something and you just be like, I kind of wish I hadn't read that because it kind of dilutes what the love I had for it or whatever?
Yeah. I don't remember what the example was, but we definitely touched on that in one of the previous episodes where, something we were talking about, they dove too far into the lore and kind of destroyed the mystery.
Yeah.
And it totally ruined it. Yeah. I mean, there is that for sure. So I'll throw that caveat into my assessment of the Dune prequels and the books that Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson wrote. If you don't want to, if it might ruin it for you, I don't know. It didn't ruin it for me, but for some people it might,
Yeah, I just feel like it's risky. It's a risky thing to take on in terms of as a reader. It's risky to your kind of the kingdom that you've built up in your mind, in your imagination, like everything that you've kind of thought about or whatever. So
what you're saying is completely founded, and I agree with Ben. It didn't ruin anything for me, but I could very easily not have read the prequel Dune novels and been fine,
right? Because
they really had. I mean, like Ben said, there's tons of lore there, but you don't really need all that lore to read the Dune books, and a lot of things are discovered as you go through the journey. I actually found, when I got to book 3, that the goddamn story got so fucking weird that I just was like, I was like, what the fuck am I reading? And I just stopped, and I never even finished it. Full disclosure. So yeah, I mean, it was so bizarre. Like, he became a worm, and he was like large, but he was small, and it was like eat me, drink me. Like, I don't know what. Like, it just was too. It was, and then like Duncan comes back, and he's a zombie, but he's not, and like I was just like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I've read some pretty weird shit in my day.
Becomes all about the Duncan, Idaho Golas.
Gotta love the Golas, dude.
Exactly. And there's like an army of Duncan Golas, and I was like, oh, whoa. Duncan Golas. Duncan Golas? That sounds like a Dunkin' Donuts product of some kind.
Dude, there was a Dunkin' Donuts Golachino.
Thufa! Let's go to Dunkin' Gola. Sorry.
We're coming up with all kinds of skits, man. Tonight's show brought to you by Dunkin' Golas. The reason I bring it up for our one remaining listener is that...
Yes, thank you.
Is that the Dune prequel books, for me, kind of did somewhat ruin it. And I stopped reading them as a result, just because I didn't want to kind of like taint my love for the original 6 Dune books. But on the Expanse, I find that I'm a little bit frustrated here and there about the differences between the books and, sprinkling novella stuff in with the show and all that kind of shit that I bitched about for 2 hours last time. But similar to your opinion of Dune, Ben, like, I don't really find that this is ruining the Expanse for me, but it's definitely has its moments where I'm just kind of like, I wish they didn't do that, or, whatever. So,
Well, I'm trying to be serious for 5 seconds. You're right that as a reader, you have to be careful. Like, if you're going to go down that road, it's like it may very well ruin it for you, in some way, shape, or form. So, fare thee warned be thee, says I.
Yeah.
I thought these guys were going to talk about the Expanse, and they've just been talking about Dune for the past hour. What the fuck is going on here?
This podcast sucks.
I fucking hate these guys.
I'm going to go play City of Devs.
So, Ashford.
Oh.
We have an early Ashford death.
I'm trying to get his damn voice and I can't. I thought I had it in my head the other day and I don't.
You had it a minute ago.
I know, but it wasn't right.
So, circling back to Expanse Season 3, I remember when I first encountered the story of Season 3, I was kind of like, huh? And kind of into it, but kind of like, I remember being kind of annoyed. But now looking back, having read all the books and all that kind of bullshit, so I'm like very much aware of where each piece fits in the story. Like, and I just reread the entirety of book 3 over the last couple of weeks as I was really interested to see the differences in flavor. And like, it's a really fucking good story. The idea of kind of Holden getting tricked into being near the ring when he doesn't want to be, and then, you know, because Clarissa Mao sets up a fake video feed, he's kind of forced through the ring and everyone chases him and everyone's kind of doesn't know what to do. It's a really interesting idea. Did you guys have a similar kind of like, wow, that's cool? Or was it kind of like really fucking weird? Or what was your kind of first impressions of the idea of the slow zone and stuff?
Well, firstly, I'm still on the Dunkin' Donuts thing that Ben
Dunkin' Golas.
Ben was still just doing a minute ago, but I'm going to power through it. And answer your, I'm gonna power through it because we have no content
Let's
worth
go
listening
get some
to here.
Milan spiced coffee at Dunkin' Gola.
It's a twofer to my ready room. I'll take that meatless sandwich in my ready room.
I'll have 4 Liter Johns of coffee.
What'd you say? 4 leaves.
We'll play Zeppelin and eat cheddar cheese.
Okay, so yes, The
Expanse by James S.A. Corey.
All right, Season 3. We have
Broadcasting
the resolution of the Aaron Wright broadcasting live from inside my asshole.
I'm talking out of my ass.
So we have exactly. We have the resolution of the Aaron Wright arc, which is the main arc, the first 2 seasons, and that takes up 5 episodes of Season 3.
Quite a bit.
Then we do a year and a half jump, and Holden is basically being lured by the proto-mall
by the
prototrope molecule into the ring via, the Miller apparition, we'll call him. So my first reaction was I found it very jarring going from the end of the original arc, from where the show started, into this ring arc. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. I just was like, my head was so into that whole arc of like Avasarala and Holden and the whole, like, all the people, like, trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and then murdering the Martian president and all that stuff.
The Ganymede stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the hybrids. And I really thought that the hybrids were, in my mind, as I was going through Season 2, it was like, okay, well, the hybrids are becoming sort of the locus, like the MacMuffin of this, story at the moment. And I really thought that was going to keep going. And then with the resolution, of Aaron Wright and all that, it just was like, yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Now, I'm not saying that they stopped it abruptly. I'm just saying that it was jarring because I thought that was going to keep being a thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, we have the Venus situation that turns into the ring, basically. So I found it jarring, and it took me a few minutes to get into it. And then on top of that, it's like, Holden is seeing visions of Miller, and it's essentially the ring and the protomolecule kind of drawing him in to do what it's designed to do, which is send a message out and find its makers so it can, I don't know what, destroy more shit or whatever it's designed to do. But yeah, I found it jarring for sure. But then I got into it, and when the ring opened up all of those wormholes at the end, I was like, wow, that I did not expect at all. I didn't think it was going there because we spent so much time being trapped inside the ring itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I remembering this right?
Yeah, and it goes to literally the Expanse.
Yes, I think so.
Right? Because we didn't get into like the new ring worlds and shit until really season 4, right?
No, none of that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not until the 4th. Yeah. Yeah, I think the conclusion of season 3 is the ring world's opening and Holden's on a beach with Miller or some shit. Hallucinating.
Well, yeah, exactly. I guess it's like a dream or a hallucination or something that he's having.
Yeah, something like that.
He's like naked on a beach and Miller's there with him and
and all the rings open and I can't remember.
Oh yeah, right. I got that. Yep.
Refresh my memory. Holden gets pulled off of the station in the center and taken by the Martians in season 3, right?
Yeah.
It's towards the end of season 3. Yeah. Then he's basically in custody. Yeah, okay, and then it all goes down on the behemoth. Yeah, gotcha.
Right, and then the gang from the Rossi show. What a bunch of losers we are. Then the gang from the Rossi shows up. We're like trying to piece it together just so we can talk about it for 3 minutes. It's like the pre-story is taking 20 minutes, and everybody that's listening has already seen the fucking show. So, yes, the Martian Marine team inserts in. They grab Holden. They put him on the behemoth. Then the Rossi crew shows up. Amos is like, "Yeah, I ain't getting near to my gun." And then Alex is like, "I got some lasagna."
Have you seen my lasagna pan? Just like my daddy gave me when I was your age.
Exactly. We pass it down from generation to generation here on Mars. Sounds like reminds me of Billy D and Undercover Brother.
Ooh, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, right? He's like, shit. Crashing.
When he said,
he says, "Oh, I want you to try my chicken." That is called a death.
Okay, Benny, what do you think of season
I'm
3?
Lando Calrissian, administrator of these facilities.
And I want you to try my chicken.
This is bad news with two of us in one room. What was your question? What were my thoughts on season 3?
Your first impressions of like I think Kev makes a good point where they legit shifted gears. Like it was hybrids and Ganymede, and then it like actually shifts gears hard and just starts taking off in somewhat of a different direction. And the show just continues to like exponentially expand, literally, and the story does as well.
Literally. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a jump cut going direct to the ring there, but on the first watching, I was just like, all right, this is cool. I don't know if it was jarring for me per se. I thought it was really cool. You know what I really love is the fucking belter racer that decides he's going to head for the ring.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like cranking that like,
definitely.
like belter version of fucking
Highway Star by
Highway
Deep
Star
Purple.
by Deep Purple, yeah.
That was sick.
Oh my god, I fucking love that shit.
But as an opener, though, I mean, just to cut in here, like I really liked it. I mean, it was definitely jarring, but I'm not saying that I didn't like it. The content, it was kind of like we went like, the Aaron Wright story resolved, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, Highway Star by Deep Purple. And I was like, what is this? And then like it starts going, and it was great. And some really just great cinematography and space shots right there as Mineo is like, doing what he's doing. And I just couldn't figure out what the hell he was doing, and I totally just hijacked Jarhigo's answer, so I'm going to let him talk.
That's okay. I mean, I had said it, and I agree. I thought that was a cool way to sort of intro that second half of the third season by using that character as sort of a segue. Yeah, that was very cool. I kept having on the last watching of this, I kept having thoughts of oh god. And I'm about to die here because I'm going to mention Star Wars.
It's okay. I'm here to resuscitate you, literally.
Oh.
Get the paddles out. What the fuck is the Rian Johnson film?
Last Jedi? Looper.
That's how bad it was. I can't even remember the name of it.
It's Last Jedi or Looper.
Wait. Hold up. You're just trying to get me to say Last Jedi so I die saying Star Wars shit, and then you can continue your point.
We're all jumping on the grenade. So, what was I going to say? The entire everybody in the ring and being slowed down was like what the fucking Last Jedi should have been with the whole space chase. It's like it was like
ooh, yes,
done correctly, and that popped out at me glaringly. I was like, oh, so this is how you do it. You don't whatever the fuck the MacGuffin was they used there, like they ran out of space gas or whatever the fuck it was. So
dumb.
We're out of space gas. Time to get a 2 for a Dunkin' Donuts.
All they needed to do was call Arnie up, and he would have gotten them some aviation fuel. What was it? It was aquatic
amphibian
airplane fuel or whatever.
Amphibian aviation fuel.
There you go.
Now listen. See here. Type 4 is amphibious fuel. There's no airplane.
I imagine the politicking for the first 5 hours of this season 3 didn't really give you any lady boners, Benny.
Oh man. No, the politicking didn't necessarily give me any pleasure. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean,
that's all I got to say about that. Yeah.
Let me just take a digression into the politics for a second, because when we were sort of doing the pre-show or whatever you call this mess, you mentioned that you were feeling Benny on the politics stuff, and like the political stuff is fine as long as it's well written and the story's good. But once we got into, I feel it was really season 4. I know we're only supposed to be talking about 3. But I just feel...
Well, we are supposed to be talking about before, but somebody didn't fucking watch it.
Oh, you're going to do me like that? Really?
I'm going to do you like that. Well, since you watched 3/4 of 4, I feel like we can blend through to the first half of season 4 for sure.
Fair enough. I'm just going to say, and I'm not going to dip into 4 too much. I'm just going to say that I really feel like the crappiness of the political stuff started in season 4, not season 3. So now it's all about... Avasarala doing all these things because it's all about her. It's I don't know. I didn't feel like that was as prevalent in season 3.
Yeah. No, season 3 was all the Aaron Wright shit where it's like a bunch of backstabby bullshit. And what's her name? The Russian priest is like writing speeches and stuff. It just came out of fucking nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Oh, Elizabeth Mitchell? Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Ann Moss. Trinity, who I know isn't actually Trinity but looks just like her.
She does kind of look like Trinity, doesn't she?
Wait, you're telling me that you think Elizabeth Mitchell, the Reverend Doctor Russian homeless shelter woman, looks like Trinity?
She looks kind of like Carrie Ann Moss. She's like Carrie Ann Moss's sister.
I think Drummer looks more like Trinity than the Reverend.
You're smoking crack.
Well, you put the Reverend in Drummer's clothes.
Yeah, slap some leather on the Rev. She'd look like Carrie Ann Moss.
She was in Lost. I enjoyed.
Did anybody else find that character slightly annoying? Like, there's just something about her that, like, she's like she's like supposed to be a really good person and all that, but like something about the way she came off just struck me as like annoyingly, I don't know, self-righteous maybe, or something along those lines. It just, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's reasonable. The purpose of the character seems to be providing a moral compass to the scared factions. But the whole, like, writing speech thing and, like, getting played by everybody, and it's just completely fucking ridiculous. So that's a pretty big divergence from the books, and it kind of did muddle the character a fair bit.
I don't know. Part of me feels like they could have left her out completely, and they could have left a lot of that stuff out. Conversely, I really applaud that they made an attempt to add moral compass in the, delivered by a character or in the form of a character. I don't know if it was written properly all of the time that she was in there. But I liked where they were going with it. And I don't think enough shows do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know if the dialogue was right, and I don't know, if the arc was right. I like how they wove her into, the life with the SG, but...
What's the SG?
The Secretary General.
Oh, Secretary General.
So I don't know. I don't know. I like her as an actress, and
she was great,
super capable and all that. But I think it was building. All of that stuff was building up to the broadcast she does on. I think it's the Behemoth, where she's basically telling people to look inward and have faith, and like this is something that we need to do is have faith in another person as well. Like those topics. I think those need to be explored desperately in art and literature, period, right now, more than ever. I think it's probably the most relevant thing that needs to be talked about. It's difficult to talk about. It's difficult to translate it into a character and a story on the screen. That's the thing of it. That's a bitch. So I believe that a lot of what they were doing with her was building up to that speech, and I really thought that was good. Like, there she is doing what she does, being a pastor, assuring people, reassuring people, telling people to have faith in another person, i.e. Holden. And I don't know, that's sort of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I think this is the kind of one place that it's worth bringing the books in, because there is a pretty large departure. Like Drummer, for example, doesn't exist in the book at all until far later, and Drummer in the show is a combination of like 3 characters, which is totally fine, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But there's quite a different story to this in the books, where the Behemoth is kind of, there's mutinies going on, and so like the whole Drummer and Ashford like getting pinned by a fucking window washing scissor lift for 3.5 hours, like that's not not really what goes down. It's kind of like the characters that Drummer replaces mutinying against Ashford, and there's like a showdown that ends up with the Russian priest lady kind of speaking about shutting down the drives, as well as kind of she is kind of the one that pushes Clarissa Mao to take Ashford down at the end, which I don't really recall being very clearly communicated in this show. I do agree that there needs to be that kind of moral compass, and it's worth talking about, and the faith stuff is good, but if it's just the faith stuff and just the faith speech on its own, it kind of rings hollow. But if it's the faith speech, which then takes Clarissa Mao's vengeance arc and kind of makes her have second thoughts, it kind of fleshes out that and gives it a reason to exist in the story, instead of just kind of a political style speech,
Yeah, it's bizarre. She's there at all these pivotal moments in the story, First, she's there to write the speech for the Secretary General and that whole arc, and then she happens to be on a ship near the near the ring, and then she happens to be inside the ring, and she happens to meet Melba, and like she happens to see Melba leave, so she follows her and happens to save
Naomi,
thank you. So you know what I mean? It's like that's what sort of, I guess, annoyed me about the character, was she just seems to be there like at all these perfect pivotal moments, and then she's there to do the speech, and it's like, it's almost like that character is kind of a MacGuffin that's written into the story to like perform all these, these little duties, but it didn't drive me nuts, but
yeah, it wasn't a deal breaker, but it was, annoying at times.
It was annoying at times, yeah.
Okay, we were cooking with steam, and I feel like the Doctor thread and conversation was well-intentioned.
Just went on a little bit. Too long.
Maybe it went a little too far. Okay, so let's bring it back to center. I feel like we've jump-started our memories, cleared out some of the cobwebs, and we actually know what happened in season 3 now.
We're jumping all over the fucking place here, too, because we haven't really talked about the first half of the season at all.
Yeah.
We kind of like picked up at the ring, and that's what we've been talking about, which is fine, because that's kind of the more important part of whereas the first part is like the wrap up of the previous 2 seasons. The second part is the beginning of what's happening now in the show. So I suppose it's more important to talk about that, but What happened in the first part?
I love how we keep, each one of us keeps recapping.
The beginning is Avasarala and Bobby trying to escape from old mate's yacht, and then they're murdering children on some space station, making hybrids, and it's like fucking Space Jam with the kids glowing and jumping all over the place like a fucking monkey. And
oh, that's right. And they
somehow fucking Avasarala ends up on the Rocinante in a really weird glue the ships together space fight. And they track down Prax's daughter. All of the various hybrids get launched by the crazy ass admiral in space, and then one of the pods hits his ship, and they have to go onto his ship to try and get the keys to the various pods. They're all shooting towards Mars, and that's kind of the climax of the second book, which it's a strange place to have the end of the second season be the first half of the third season. They must have just run out of time or something.
Yeah, I think so. All culminating with Adam Savage.
Yes.
Floating frozen in space.
All right, so the Venus wad pimple thing is about to pop, and Kotiar became very quickly one of my favorite characters. And I hate when they kill off characters I love, and I love that they do it because I hate when they keep just dragging the same people along and making it unrealistic and all of that sort of thing. So hats off to the showmakers for that. And also a giant middle finger for killing off what was arguably my favorite character in the entire show. He was great. Everything about him I loved. The whole escape from Mao's ship, just that whole sequence was fantastic, man. I loved everything about it. I thought it was great.
Julie's ship and the design of the like seats that rotate and stuff was super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I think that kind of wrapped up that bit, though.
Yes.
All the pods get blown up and kind of a nothing burger. Prax gets his daughter back. See you later.
Well, hold a second, man. I mean, like, going down to Ganymede, they blew up most of the pods as they were being launched. But, I mean, the best... Like, and again, Prax was an amazing character, and I really grew to like him a lot. And I was sad, when he didn't show up for the beginning of the next arc, which was midway through season 3. That was definitely a bummer. But one of the best scenes probably in the entire show happened when he found his daughter. I mean, the entire reunion with the daughter was fantastic. Like, super touching. Really well done, really well acted, really well written.
Yeah.
And I loved just seeing that hand come in and Amos saying, "You're not that guy." And
yeah.
I almost didn't see it coming of, the guy, the way they shot it. Everything was perfect about that scene because he got the girl, he walked out, and you feel like they all left. You got the distinct impression that all three of them walked out of that airlock door or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden, it's a shot of the doctor, and they like kind of either pan the camera over or they zoom out, and there's Amos with the gun saying, "I am that guy." And he just blows the dude away. It was perfect.
That was great.
Perfect vindication for an evil douchebag scientist who deserved what he got.
Well said.
And perfectly Amos.
Totally.
Might come out on that, but just before you launched into that, I was going to be like, and Amos caps the evil scientist.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well said. So that was easily one of the best scenes in the entirety of what I've watched from that show. It was really, really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there, though.
Yeah, there is.
The Bobby versus the hybrid, that was cool.
Yeah, and great vindication for Bobby because she's like serious PTSD from that initial hybrid attack where it killed her fire team. So getting a chance to go one-on-one and kind of conquer that PTSD is pretty awesome.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, second time she survives an encounter with a hybrid.
Yeah, good stuff. Aaron Wright.
Yeah, what'd you think of all that shit? I haven't even touched the political stuff, but the Aaron Wright shit, did you give a damn about it?
I did. I liked it. He turned out to be such a scumbag. And I really liked, really the locus of the end of that arc, mid-season 3, is them trying to prove and come up with the proof that Aaron Wright is a scumbag and he, sort of precipitated this entire thing and he needs to go. And getting the copy of the data that had the video in it from the nerd on the ship was key, and then broadcasting it out all over the place. So yeah, he was
a great casting too.
He was great, and I really enjoyed how he was, sort of the puppet master with the SG. But I also did like how the SG was kind of like a shallow scumbag too, And there was Dr. Elizabeth Mitchell Reverend Doctor. Exactly. Thank you, Ben.
Doctor.
Try to, steer.
Doctor.
And Doctor. Trying to steer that back on course. Steer him back on course. And then eventually she's just like, you're a dildo. Like, you're all about you. You're a dildo. You need
perfect choice of words there.
Yeah, he is. He's a dildo. And she was like, you're a dildo and you shouldn't have this job and fuck you. How dare you make me write your speech? Boo.
How dare you?
Where the hell does that leave us? All right. Well, we can certainly kind of jump back to talking about Ashford and Drummer and Naomi and the dynamic with the Belters sort of forming their own militia and becoming like an official sort of third power structure in the solar system.
Well, okay, let's start with that, because I really wish the Belters would just get their shit together, because they're so gypsy-like. There's so much infighting. It almost seems overkill on purpose. And that was a thought I had a couple of times. But I really wanted to see them kind of pull it together a little bit more, for the sake of, like, all of humanity. So lame. I mean, look, the other what of it is that all of a sudden a gigantic ring appears in the solar system that is absolutely massive. I would think that everybody would sort of form up like Voltron, and be like, yo, we gotta, stop being shitty. And, I don't know, maybe not.
Only in Watchmen.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. So I guess that was sort of ongoing kind of frustrating thing. I was like, I want to see the Belters kind of pull it together a little bit more.
Too factional.
Yeah, I guess. And just, I mean, it's like all they do is sit around and bitch. It's like, oh, we're always getting the short end of the stick. Oh, of course you hate Belters. Of course. It's like but it's like you're not forming up together to be more powerful. It's like you're just still doing like the same stupid gypsy tricks. And I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. Now I'm kind of getting annoyed. I had love in my heart when I started talking about that, and then as I went through it, I got more annoyed. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Like, you're complaining all the time about, like, we're not getting this, and who ain't giving you your Quan and all that Rod Tidwell shit, but it's like, why don't you, like, dial it in, That's what I don't get. And like, I can make an argument that it seems intentional almost at this point, and that is annoying.
Yeah, the Belter infighting is a little frustrating.
It's like over the top, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense, but it's unnecessary.
It makes sense, and, it seems like things are going to end up in a more unified direction for the Belters, perhaps. But the process of getting there, the way they're doing it in the show, is kind of like one step forward, two steps back, it seems, and it is a little... Yeah, it's a little... Anyway, come on, guys, get your shit together.
Yeah, it's like all those people clawing through the floor of that train in Generation War with their freaking fingernails, Like,
yeah,
come on already. So
we touched on it a little bit, I think, in the last episode, where it was like interesting. Well, we actually touched on it in Generation War, where I compared Generation War to The Expanse because it was the stupid things people do when they're afraid. And I feel like they're really trying to drive the whole, like, the solar system is terrified, so they're just going back to their internal squabbles because it's easier to deal with than dealing with an existential crisis. But I definitely agree that it was over the top with the Belters, and it just gets a little like, okay, next.
Yeah, it's like we already did this, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, there's this, you said it perfectly. There's a huge existential crisis. There's a giant ring in the middle of fucking space. And it's like, what, now everybody's going to be black market this, and let's just, keep trying to like, fuck each other over. And it's just, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I shouldn't throw it away like that. It's annoying.
It's realistic. I think it's probably what would happen.
I think it is too. I think I'm probably more upset at humans in general than I am at the show right now. And I think I'm displacing that anger.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
That is exactly what's happening, actually.
Well, you know what? This show isn't afraid to. It's not afraid to keep ratcheting tension. It's not afraid to keep you on the edge. It doesn't gratify you with a resolution to things so quickly a lot of the times. And I think this is one of those cases where it's an ongoing thing. That's just, it is frustrating, but I think that's kind of good story. The fact that you're having an emotional reaction to it and you're like, it's starting to piss me off now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, well, that's pretty fucking good, man.
I think Jarhigo just like dropped the hammer of Thor right there, because that's pretty much it. I mean, they're doing it on purpose, and it works. There you go.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Well done, Expanse show people. So,
the Clarissa Melbako kind of thread is an interesting development. The revenge that kind of goes weird.
Yeah. It goes weird. Goes to like the fifth dimension, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I really liked her story.
I did too, and I liked what she was doing. Like, I loved that John Kapelos was in the beginning of that.
Who's he?
Because John Kapelos is an actor that you would recognize in many movies from days of yore. He played that crazy Greek guy in Weird Science at the bar who says he's into Malakas, Dino. And he's been in a ton of I just said that for Jarhigo, but he's been in a ton of films. He was in 16 Candles and just a whole slew of films from the 80s all the way up through into the 90s. He was in When Harry Met Sally, like all of these films. So,
and what is he in this?
He plays the lead maintenance guy that she kills and stuffs inside that panel.
Oh, okay.
She's savagely smashes his fucking head in because he won't fit into the compartment. That was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
on TV.
It was, man.
Jesus.
And then it also, what I didn't really care for was that it kind of indicated that she had some weird skills of some kind, like powers almost. Like they kind of...
Yeah, she had implants.
She had an implant. She took her teeth. It was like the poison tooth in Dune, only it gave her like super strength for a limited amount of time and then left her exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I get it now. I did not understand that at all. I was like, what?
Yeah, they're like adrenal implants or something where she rotates her tongue in the roof of her mouth and it fires up her system for like 60 seconds and then she has to pass out and puke for 5 minutes of recovery.
So it's like taking a red inspiration?
Yes. Yes, it's like taking a red inspiration.
I don't know what that is, but probably.
It's a damage booster from City of Heroes. You take it, it gives you a 15% damage boost for what, 30 seconds, Ben?
Well, it would be like a special red enhancement that gave you like a 50% boost or 100% boost, but then left you exhausted, then left you drained of endurance.
So it's a proc.
Yeah, it's more like rage.
Gentlemen.
Got it.
It's more like rage from the super strength set. You pop it, you get superpower for a while, but then you have to be careful because when it runs out, if you keep attacking, you'll just run out of endurance, and then all your toggles drop, and then you're dead.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh, what? Is this bothering you?
You're both so fucking dead right now.
We're so dead? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
We're dead, but for the one person who's playing COH and is listening to this podcast, and they're like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. That guy's running down the street naked with its arms in the air.
Because that's what you do.
So what else about Melba?
I just liked her arc, man. I really like the way she threads through the whole thing.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, I really wanted her. I didn't like her. Like, I didn't like what she was doing. I didn't like that she was being nefarious. So, yes, I thought it was really good as well. And then, I mean, the end was, I don't know, like, I mean, how she flip-flopped, right? And bashed his face into the console panel. Like, I don't know, that was sort of the point of what Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Mitchell was saying. And so I like how that resolved. I could see why people would not like it and get annoyed by it. Like, oh, all of a sudden, she's just going to be like, oh, I'm a good guy. Let me bash your face in and like fix everything. But it didn't bother me. I thought it was good. I liked it. I wanted to see everybody pull together and pull it together in the face of the Ring and this new threat. So she did that, at the end of her arc. I didn't really think that killing John Kapelos was necessary. It was a little extreme. He was like, oh, hey, look at this scratch on this panel. She's like, I got to kill you now, and I'm going to stuff you in a panel. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost wasn't fitting with the rest of what was going on with her. Like, it was almost a little too over the top, but...
Right?
Like, wow, okay, she's fucking psycho. And I guess she sort of is, but, like, they humanize her a little bit. They obviously humanize her, and they turn her around, and yeah, it almost doesn't fit, but hey.
Yeah, that's one that's way plausible when they had more time to flesh it out.
Yeah.
Like, one of the interesting, like, I know I'm going to say the word book again, but one of the interesting mechanisms that books in general have is they can have chapters
really
that are first person with the character, and so
books have chapters.
Yeah, really. I'm just saying that they have chapters. It's similar to like Lord of the Rings, where you'll have a chapter with one group and then a chapter with another group, and that just like flip flops back and forth. And so in the third book, Clarissa is one of the characters that gets probably a dozen chapters, and each one you're in her head, and you can kind of she's kind of talking to herself about what's going on, and so it's a lot more room for them to kind of explore that, and it's a lot more plausible as a result.
Sure, absolutely. But I do feel like even, constrained in 10 episodes, whatever, I feel like they did a good job, ringing out that story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead into season 4 too much, but I thought it was interesting. There's a conversation that she has with Amos at the beginning of the 4th season that I thought was kind of interesting. It sort of wrapped her character up.
Give me a little recap of that.
It's like 30 seconds.
Whatever, she's busted, she's going to go to prison, and she's talking to Amos, and I forget what the exact interaction is, but Amos at the end of it says something along the lines of like, keep your head down, eat, sleep, shit, take whatever they give you, but don't give them anything.
Do your time.
Yeah.
Wow, I like it. Very cool. I don't remember that, but doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of throwaway in a way, but it's an interesting.
I thought it was interesting that they put those two characters together because there are some overlaps there.
Yeah. And to flesh that out a little bit, when she gets busted at the end, she smashes Ashford and saves the day, la la la, and then it's like, yeah, okay, well, you tried to kill us, so we're gonna fucking get you in front of a judge now. She needs to be transported back to Earth or whatever to be brought to trial, and your favorite Reverend Mother ends up getting her onto Holden's ship, and so they have like a 5-month journey getting her back to jail. And so in that 5 months, she kind of befriends Amos, because obviously like Holden doesn't want to be her friend because she tried to fucking kill Naomi and stuff, and so it's a bit awkward and whatnot. So I do like that the two of them pair up. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with that. Let's switch gears. I want to talk about the swearing.
Yeah, cool.
So just to recap it for the folks at home who I'm sure know this already, the show went from being on Sci-Fi to Amazon Prime. And with the move to Prime, we got profanity. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is it too much? Sometimes I feel like it's a little too much.
Well, I think anyone that listens to the show knows I swear every third word, so
you love it.
So I'm down. I love Avasarala's foul mouth. I think it's a great character trait.
Yeah, it's fun hearing Shora Agdashlu say "fucking" with her.
It is
gravelly 50
Iranian
cigarettes
accent?
a day voice.
Wait, what'd you say? How many cigarettes a day?
I don't know, 50. It just
50 or 60. Yeah,
two or three packs. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. of reds,
of reds,
definitely reds.
Dr. Girlfriend voice.
Oh my God, yes, total Dr. Girlfriend voice. Nice call. I think that look, I like the addition of the swearing. Sometimes I feel like it's thrown in too much, and I there was something about Avasarala in particular. Like, I do like her having a sailor mouth, but at the same time, she was not able to have that in seasons 1 and season 2, and she was able to effectively communicate in the exact same way that she currently does without the profanity. And that, there's a lot to be said for that. So I don't know how I personally feel about the profanity. I'm a little bit mixed on it, and it's like, I like when there's some in there, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too much.
I think it's because there wasn't any previously that it stands out at you so much now. But as far as I feel like, it's like, the original is just a tasty jambalaya. The new one is like, spicy jambalaya. So, and I like it spicy. So
it was. I know you do.
You ain't sweating. You ain't eating.
This sounds like something Alex is whipping up in the whatever there. What do you call the kitchen on the ship?
Dead.
I don't know.
Dead. Galley.
I'm not dead. I'm recovering from death.
Dead.
Not dead.
Your description of Avasarala in the sense of like she swears a lot but can communicate much better without the swearing is like so thoroughly me. This is like I just do not stop swearing. I swear 5 times more than the average human, and it drives me crazy, and I wish I just could stop it, and I'm struggling. And my 2-year-old boy is going to start swearing soon if I don't sort it out.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Well said, Jarhigo. Yes.
Oh my god, dude. I am so Avasarala in this, and like I am Amazon Prime Avasarala. I just can't control it.
Well, you did a good job there for a little while.
I sympathize so thoroughly.
Hats off to you.
And I do enjoy her sailor mouth.
Yeah, it's the way she does it, though. Her delivery is just terrific,
It's flawless.
Don't you fucking.
Yeah.
The emphasis is all on the swear, and it's great.
Yeah. No, she's really good at it. Okay, so that's it for the swearing, and is that it for season 3? Is it time to wrap this mess up and go do something else?
It's a fucking messy meatball. Rate it?
Sure. A.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Kev?
A as well. A minus.
Yeah, right on.
Jarhigo and I are always very close.
I was hoping the seasons 1 and 2 I gave a C. I was hoping this would be an improvement. It wasn't. I'll give this one a D.
What?
But
Wow.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the
Just
book.
because of the changes that were made.
The
books.
the books.
Because the books.
The books.
Yeah, it's just more of the same. It's exactly the same as before, where I am really looking forward to seeing what Amazon does, and season 4 is a huge step forward. So yeah, like it's definitely not like this is a shitty show. It's just I very highly recommend people check out the books if you like the show, because I think you'll really enjoy the books. And seasons 4 is really good. I'm looking forward to talking about that soon, and I'm fucking pumped for season 5.
Jarhigo, even though he doesn't look or sound like him, I'm getting some very JP vibes from Grandma's Boy from Chad in this particular episode.
Totally.
Adios, turd nuggets.
I am sitting in like an elevated floating chair with 90 monitors right now.
Nice.
So.
Are you wearing a Matrix X-esque jacket?
With an awesome Aphex Twin song blaring.
Perfect.
You would if you had robot ears.
Exactly. I want to buy you a Cobra.
Just go around the neck.
That movie is so bad it's good. Like that is 100% a contender.
So, are you kidding me? That movie is legendary.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be my pick.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's throw down, man. So listen, here it is. A minus. I like that it was all on Amazon and the profanity. I like how they wrapped up the original arc. I like where the show started going midway through. Yes, it was a little bit jarring, but that doesn't mean it was bad. We lost some characters that I absolutely loved, but I'm not begrudging anybody. This is definitely A minus work. Like great writing, great again, and this is something that I wanted to talk about, but we didn't touch on. No biggie. The attention to detail in this show it's just fantastic, man. There's so much detail in the show that just brings you into that world, that brings that microcosm to life. And that's why this show is an A show. So there you go.
There you have it. We have deaths.
Jesus. Dude.
Yeah, I brought up Star Wars, so there's that.
Oh, you did.
But then we all jumped on the grenade.
Kind of like
so.
fobbed it off to us. It was this triple Star Wars homicide.
That's right. We all jumped on the
It was more
grenade.
like we were all in the foxhole, and I accidentally pulled the pin and didn't know about it.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were screaming death when I was doing my last Alex impression, which I don't agree with. I'm going to contest that.
Well, you forgot something halfway through. You forgot the word galley and just kind of stumbled.
I did, but I did recover.
Right.
I died in my description of Rage from the Super Strength set from COH.
You did.
Fucking A, you both died talking about COH for half an hour. Every time I said the word book, I died.
Yes, definitely.
For the record, I want to apologize to anyone that's like, dude, shut the fuck up about the books. I'm sorry.
It's never going to stop, so just stop apologizing for it.
Yeah, I know. You're going to do the same thing next time.
I mean,
fine.
I'm not apologizing. Like, I'm going to keep fucking doing it, but I recognize it might be annoying. You know what would be not annoying? If you find me annoying, read the books, and then you'll be like, oh, he was right the whole time.
Oh my God! Stop talking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a whole book just to vindicate you, Chad.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, Ben and I and the entire community of our fans.
Someday you're gonna read these books and you're gonna look back wistfully on this show.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of defenders, man. Don't worry.
This is all just to spark conversations on social. That's all this is all about. This is all a sham, man. It's like JFK, you know?
That's it. Cool. I want to become an influencer. Back into the left.
Exactly. That's what this is. Back into the left. All right. Well, folks, listen. This was a really great episode. So thanks for joining us. And this is Mulvey saying, I will see you on another time.
See ya.
See ya.
That's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. Next week, we're going to be talking about The Expanse, Season 4, so tune in for that. You can find the show notes for today's episode in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/46. You can shoot us questions using the Twitter hashtag AskEBD. You can find me on Twitter at Molverine, that's MOHLVERINE. Chad is at Chad Normal on Twitter. And Ben is at Jarhigo on Twitter. That's JARHEEGO. I want to take a second and thank everybody so much for tuning into the show. It means loads to all of us. And if you'd like to support the show, there's a couple great ways you can do it. First, by rating us and reviewing us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. The other thing you can do is tell someone to check out the show. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful and effective. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next time.
Come on, Mulvey. We need to hydrate with beer. That was my terrible Carmina.
Oh, my God. I thought you were doing Werner Herzog. Jesus.
She's pretty awesome.
After her and Naomi are playing paddleball, they're or whatever it is, like whatever belter sport that is.
Spaceball,
yeah. Kara G. She's great.
Yeah, Kara G. She's like, I love how bizarre the character is. I love what she's done with it, and I just... Yeah. She's super weird and sexy at the same time. It's like, whoa.
And just pulled it out of nowhere, too. Like, as I mentioned, she's a combination of characters. She's awesome.
Yeah, definitely one of the strengths on that show.
Absolutely. They better not kill her off, or I am going to be
Let's definitely have
furious.
a better conversation about The Expanse after we've already finished the show. That's productive.